Another day of the spring sale. Yes, recently I made a video about great indie games you may want to check out, so if you haven't seen the video yet, I highly suggest you watch it. Today I tried to find and cover titles and deals that are not only great, but the games I'm about to show you are one of a kind. So if you're grabbing something from the list or have a recommendation, go ahead and drop a comment. Let us see what you are getting or what you recommend. Songs of Conquest is a turn-based strategy game inspired by 90s classics, so if you want to try a game that feels like Heroes or Disciples, this is the one. It's a very classic adventure where you build your empire, create an army, conquer, gather, explore, loot and repeat. You can, of course, play with your friends if you desire. Now let's talk about graphics. This is one of the most beautiful pixel art styles I've ever seen. If you look at the map, you can see the details and uniqueness of each location. The battle grid is also very distinct for each location and it's well made. The animations are great and the units look amazing. It's hard to describe, you need to see this and feel how it plays. I highly recommend this one, it's fun, trust me. Next on the list is Monster Sanctuary. It's quite an interesting and unique game that combines monster collecting and Metroidvania elements, which might not seem like they would work together at first, but they actually do. We start as an heir and can choose a monster to help us in battles, and we will find even more of them on our journey. There are over 100 different creatures to catch, evolve, hatch, train and so on. Each of them has its own skill tree, which of course we can develop. We will engage in 3-on-3 battles where we need to quite thoughtfully and strategically approach the enemy. There is also an option for online play, several difficulty levels and a new game plus feature. This one you probably already know, and it's a retro style inspired game. It's like GTA 102, but the thing is, it's not exactly a retro game, but it feels like one thanks to the graphical style, soundtrack and the time it is set in. The setting is an alternative 90s Miami where a mysterious anti-hero goes on a murderous rampage against the shady underworld. Your job is to dash through buildings, rooms and hallways constantly outnumbered by vicious enemies and put in impossible situations. You have to do everything you can to get out alive and leave as few enemies as you can. This is your sequel to a brutal, fast and arcade-style game with a lot of violence and gore, and this time, double it. If you like this type of gameplay, then I'm sure you will love it, and also, as a small bonus, there is still the first Hotline Miami on sale. If you don't own it yet and haven't played it, somehow now is the perfect occasion, as this game is as cheap as it can get. Blasphemous is a game where you play as the penitent one. You are the lone survivor of the Silent Sorrow massacre and you are trapped in an unending cycle of death and rebirth. You need to break this fate and confront the source of suffering. Sounds great, right? And it looks even better. The graphics in this game are truly amazing. It has, of course, a very beautiful pixel art style. The animations are great and they feel good, making the combat smooth and very brutal. This game is one of a kind. It's really hard but rewarding, so if you're into brutal Metroidvanias, then grab it. Yes, Your Grace is already a well-known title. This game is one of the best kingdom management games ever made. If you are not familiar with the idea, this game is about managing your kingdom. Our job will be to make alliances, support our loved ones, make crucial decisions that will shape our story, manage resources and lead our men in epic battles. The pixel art is amazing, it looks just beautiful. This game is a must-play, to be honest, if you want to step into the shoes of a monarch and brave the difficulties of managing your kingdom, taking care of politics, and trying to be a good ruler. Now, To the Moon is a game I recommend with all my heart. This is a game I played and covered on my channel many years ago when I was in Let's Play mode back then. This is a heavily story-focused game with a really classic RPG Maker pixel art style and a really great story. This game lets you experience an end to a person and how much dreams and memories are important, how life can turn around, how important some things are in your life. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm really careful right now. This is a game that offers an experience you rarely find in any game. To the Moon and Finding Paradise left me in tears for a good hour or so, like really, and I'm not really a soft person. I love this series and I can recommend it to you anytime. Also, try A Bird Story and Finding Paradise. Prison Architect is one hell of a unique game. I played this title for some time before I discovered RimWorld, and if you want to know more about games like this, then go ahead and watch my other video about colony sim games. This is your prison management sim. You take on the role of a prison warden, you have to carefully plan your prison, customize and build rooms to meet the needs of your prisoners, keep them engaged, happy, fed and healthy. But, as you might expect, prisoners are not exactly easy to manage. Each of them has their unique stories, traits and crimes they committed. They can be more or less aggressive and dangerous, so be careful who you bring in. More dangerous prisoners yield more finances, but require more work. You have to keep them in separate compounds, invest in armed guards and guard dogs. They require hard work, but it's your job, right? You can ask for certain grants and build places they tell you to build, create jobs for your prisoners and so on. This game is one of the best I've ever played, and I just couldn't exclude it when it is so cheap. The only issue is that the DLCs are really important in the game, so the basic game is just like a demo at the moment. Next up we've got a Souls-like game. Eldest Souls is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. The pixel art is absolutely stunning, it also has an amazing soundtrack and the overall vibe of the game is fantastic. Keep in mind that this title is incredibly brutal. I mean, it's challenging as hell. You have to learn how to fight, but once you get used to it, it gets a bit better. Bosses are insanely tough, they fight like crazy and the feeling of defeating them is something you can only experience in a game like this. I rarely recommend Souls-like games since I know they are really hard, but I think this one is definitely worth considering. You will be able to create your own build, fight tons of bosses one after another, and have a lot of fun. This is your typical boss rush game, so if you're into something like that, Eldest Souls is a perfect fit. NeuroVoider is a twin-stick shooter RPG set in a cyber-futuristic world about brains shooting evil robots with nuclear rocket launchers. This game looks great and it's a lot of fun. It features a top-down pixel art aesthetic, which works well for a title like this, along with local multiplayer for up to 4 people. The world is procedurally generated, so no playthrough will be the same, and there are thousands, yes, thousands of unique enemies to destroy. There's tons of loot to customize your character, gigantic bosses and a great soundtrack. This game is really fun, but quite short to be honest. And before we jump to spot number 1, I've prepared 5 additional games as honorable mentions. And last but not least, I think Limbo is a game I don't have to explain to anyone. It is a puzzle-focused platform in which we play as a boy in search of his sister. We will explore and go through mysterious dark lands, trying to find our sister and, in the meantime, survive. This game is one of my favorite games, and you would be surprised how dark and challenging it is. I was actually surprised how detailed the deaths are and how hard some puzzles are. I spent a fair amount of time trying to solve some of them, and there is also hidden content to play through if you are a completionist. This game is a great experience and I think you should try it. It is already a classic and it is cheap, so yeah, I really recommend it. And that's everything for today. I really hope you liked this video and found some great new titles to play. Tell me in the comments what games are you grabbing. I would love to hear what you're planning to play. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date with great new indie games and new releases, and I will see you in another video next week. Thank you all for watching, and bye.